So the session's really around drowning prevention strategies and activities required in your local community engagement and participation from your community to ensure that you can actually take all the great research and all of the information and the strategies and implement them. Because if they sit in the academic world, it doesn't do the 6-year-old any good. So that's where we're headed. And that's me. I am not an academic. I am a recreation practitioner by lifelong learning. So this is good. Okay, so just to start, the first piece of the puzzle for us really, I'm going to use the city of Brampton as an example point here. The first piece of the puzzle was building an understanding of the issue. And we use tools, I've used tools with the Brampton community to build that understanding, the first of which is the Canadian Drowning Report. Without a global understanding, without a national understanding of the issue, it's really hard to say, but we have a problem in Brampton that we need to address. And then driving down into that, we have the Ontario Drowning Report that localized it a little bit more. But still, we had a problem where our community didn't get it. They weren't connecting to the drowning problem. They couldn't put the pieces together. And even when you said to our local fire department, drowning is a bigger problem than fire death, they're like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. And we're like, yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is. So we took the Ontario Drowning Report and then went to the Drowning Prevention Research Centre and said, okay, I got that, but I still need it narrower, and got the region appeal in which the city of Brampton lives, data on drowning and that comparison. And wow, did that wake some people up, right? And they're like, oh my God, people are drowning. But lots of people take swimming lessons, Juanita, so it's okay. And I'm like, right? But not enough people take swimming lessons. And oh, by the way, we need to look at this statistic. The city of Brampton has a really unique demographic where we had over a 200% increase in immigration from 91 to 2011. 233%. So, and the majority of those people are coming from East Indian countries. So we've got a bigger problem, so sort of narrowing it down and helping people understand what that was. We also did another study with Ryerson University and the Life Saving Society to look at when were those people coming into our swimming programs. We had heard from Peel Youth Association that, people were coming to rec centers right away, recreation centers. And unfortunately, what we found through the study is that it was taking them 10 years to come to the pool. 10 years before those new immigrants came into the pool. They might have gone to the recreation center for the library. They all figured out how to learn to skate, but they weren't coming to the pool. So we have this problem that was, you're starting to shape the problem and helping people understand it. And it took a few years for people to understand what the issue actually was. And then we looked at, okay, if it's taking 10 years, who the heck is in the pools taking swimming lessons? Well, it wasn't this population. They're not coming. So how do we reach them? How do we get to them? So we looked at strategies, one, to build the understanding of it, to share that understanding, to make sure that everybody in our community knew it, and then we went on to what do you do about it? So the Life Saving Society Canada has a National Drowning Prevention Week. We tapped into this exercise. We said, well, if you're already going to give us messaging, you're already going to give us tools, we're going to start to utilize those tools in the city of Brampton. And we kick off every year with a water safety week. Now, it looks like a week. No, we don't just do a week. We actually do 12 months of activity. But we do a water safety week that's built on that messaging that comes from the Life Saving Society based on the drowning research. But we spin it and focus it specifically at our community, those who do not participate in our programs. We don't set up booths and activities inside of the recreation centers because that would be silly, because you're preaching to the converted at that point. They're already there. We go out to where our community actually is. So our drowning prevention strategies are all focused on into people's communities, into where they want to be. So into cultural festivals, into faith-based organizations, into daycare centers, into camps, where they're already going. And we do this activity. We also know that if you go to school, we can talk to you, because everybody believes their teacher, right? Well, then you grow up and maybe you don't. But everybody believes your teacher when you're little, and parents of our new immigrant populations believe the teacher. So, but we had a little bit of a problem. So then our teachers didn't quite get the water safety message. No problem. We're going to come in and do fitness with you and healthy eating. And while we're there, you're getting water safety. So we tag that messaging in. So we reach into the schools every year. We reach 100,000 students in the city of Brampton through our Fit Kids and Waterworks program. And it's dryland water safety programming, and the focus is swim where there's a lifeguard, right? Because in Canada, the rate of drowning in supervised locations is ridiculously low. This is a good thing. So swim where there's a lifeguard, and know how to identify where there's a safe space to be. So is there a lifeguard, right? And are you swimming with a buddy, is primarily. We use coloring pieces. We use pieces that they can take home. So we use that methodology, so if I tell the child, the parent gets something as well. We then, because again, you go to school, we offer the Swim to Survive program from the Life Saving Society and the Swim to Survive Plus program through the school. So, and we reach in our Swim to Survive program, we reach about 6,000 students. In our Swim to Survive Plus program, we reach about 4,000 students at this point. Swim to Survive has 3 skills: roll into deep water, tread or surface and stay still for a minute, and then travel for 50 meters. Swim to Survive Plus puts you in clothes. So you have to do all those skills in clothes, and identifies the need to, can I assist when someone else is in trouble? Never by entering the water. And then it wasn't enough for us. It's not enough. Because we have this whole group of little tiny people and this whole group of adult people who weren't getting this program. Because when you have a high population of immigration, right, lots of those adults come to you after schooling's over. So the average age in Brampton is 34.6 years old. We're one of the youngest communities in Canada. And the growth rate is 233% on immigration. There's a lot of people who never went through our schooling system. So we offer a family Swim to Survive and an adult Swim to Survive program. And we introduced Adult Swim to Survive in November with a target of putting 500 people through the program in a 1-year period of time. When I left Canada last week, we were over 750 people had already participated in our Adult Swim to Survive program, right? Now, are they perfect swimmers? Are they beautiful swimmers? Would you, Bob, you would say, no, they're not competent. I get that, but what they are getting is an introduction to water safety, an understanding of where to swim, and a desire to learn more. So they're learning a bit, they're excited about it, and they're registering again in other programming. We then did a focus on, we better get them into our big Learn to Swim program and water safety programs, and we focused on it. Were we offering it, our programming, in a methodology that allowed people to participate? So was our pricing right? Was our timing right? Were we meeting the cultural needs of our community and our delivery system? Did we have male and female only programming times, which is important in our community? Did we change the offering times so that we weren't going based on a Christian calendar that said Sunday mornings is forbidden time to swim. No, we offer one of our largest swimming blocks at 11 facilities is on Sunday morning. Because it's not when you go to your faith-based center if you're Sikh, right? So in the period of time that we really focus on it, we've seen an 82% growth in registrations. We just let more people in. It's just as simple as that. Let your community in, meet with them, and define what those needs are. It didn't cost us any more to do this. We just changed how we delivered, and the numbers grew significantly. So 58,000 registrations last year. That's nothing. I keep telling our team, this is nothing. We should be over 100,000 in our participation. And that's our target. The other thing that we needed to look at is that we have this beautiful little lake, and it is a little tiny lake, and it's an accidental lake. It was a quarry, and they were digging and hit a spring and filled up within 48 hours. Yeah, oops. Make the best of the situation, build some houses around it, and call it Professor's Lake. And it is one of our primary recreation centers in the city of Brampton. It, unfortunately, is also the hub of drowning in the city of Brampton. So we looked at, from 2009 forward, we had 12 drownings, I think 10 of which had happened over the period of time in here. Never, not one. We have a beach here that we supervise and treat like a pool. It's fenced in. You have to pay admission, right? It's got lifeguards. Never in the lifeguard supervised area. Always outside of the area, always outside of the hours. And it became a problem. We have this drowning pool, and it's a horrible thing. And our community got enraged. So everywhere that you see a red or yellow line, dramatic changes have been made to the shoreline to improve the safety. Dramatic changes, including, believe it or not, we fenced part of the lake. In this particular spot, the rock that you see behind the fence has actually been taken out. It was called Swimmer's Rock. It's not in the swimming area. This is really bad. And it has seen 4 drownings off the rock. So the water level as you approach the rock was below your knees, and on the other side of the rock is like 30 feet deep. So there's no warning, you just fall off and off you go, right? So the rock, we actually had our parks team came in and removed the rock. We have always had life-saving stations around the lake, but if nobody knows what to do with them, they don't work. So our drowning last spring, actually a father went in to try and rescue his daughter who had fallen off Swimmer's Rock, where he had posed her for a picture. She falls in, is able to get to the side. The father goes in after her and never surfaces again. Had he turned around, that life-saving station is this far away from the rock, and he never turned around. So they don't know what to do with them. We've installed beware, sudden drop signs. It's all about engaging your whole community. Our parks team is all over this. They are just mortified that people drown. And we do have signs up that say no swimming and skating. That's entertaining in the winter too. Okay? But we've made dramatic changes to the lake. We've changed the shoreline. We've done natural plantings that make it hard to get in the water. Really rough, spiky grasses that if you try and walk through, you're a little bit cut up, right? So, but it's important. The other thing that we do in our community in a structural component is, and I know for some this is a little odd, we have life jackets everywhere. So if you go to Professor's Lake, the capacity for Professor's Lake when we're in operation is 3,000 people. We have 1,000 life jackets at that site. We have sheds of them. So when you come in, we have an admission test, so based on age and swimming skill, and if you don't meet those, you must wear a life jacket. And we have racks and racks and racks of them. In addition, we have racks and racks and racks of life jackets at each of our centers, our recreation centers. So this is one of the racks at Century Gardens. There's 3 of these racks, and they contain about 300 life jackets. The capacity of Century Gardens pool is only 225 people. But we need life jackets to fit everybody. And I don't know, when a community doesn't supply those things, I wonder why not. Why aren't they commonplace? And yes, it was an investment. And yes, it's a yearly investment. But if you're going to teach your community how to wear a life jacket and how to use them and how to fit them and make sure that it's okay to put them on and they don't feel bad when they have to put them on, you better have them available to them. So you'll see instructors in our pools and lifeguards in our pools quite often put the life jackets on with the kids and get it in play and show them how to use them. But everybody gets them. The other thing that we do is we have a water safety team, and the water safety team does not go to our recreation centers. So they're in operation from the end of April until the beginning of October, and they go out to all sorts of festivals and community events. And they go with life jackets, and they go with games and activities, and they go with safe swimming information, and go out into the community. And they speak multiple languages. So there are 6 people on the water safety team, and they speak 6 different languages so that they can actually interact with their community and help them. And you'll see all the kids in those pictures have, we also have a selfie program so that there's selfies everywhere about with their cards. We have a lifeguard pledge or a life jacket pledge card. They're on your table. So everybody, we get everybody to sign the life jacket pledge card, but they have to have tried on life jackets first. Okay. We work with our camp teams. So, and all of our camps participate in the life jacket pledge component as well, but they can participate in 2 other programs. So they can participate in our On Guard program. So counselors are taught Safeguard and use the On Guard program to help them remember that they're in charge of those swimmers. So we use those components as well, right? So any camps coming into our environment have to use those. And then our favorite components is we partner with those who have bigger influence than the recce. Well, you know what? Nobody listens to us. I can stand up and jump up and down, and nobody's going to pay any attention to me. When I put the fire chief beside me, and he speaks, it's like God has spoken, right? Oh, I get it. So we do it all the time. Fire and our paramedic services speak first, and then introduce our aquatics and our recreation team to actually deliver the message. But they're God. They're not. They're God. And their community thinks they're God, right? They have a uniform on. They must be God. So we use them, and we partner with them. The other little problem that we have inside of Brampton Recreation is I'm not allowed to have a Twitter account for Brampton Recreation. But man, those firefighters and paramedics all have them, work-based ones. So they tweet out all the time. They use Twitter and they use social media for us and send out our messages. So we partnered with them. So this is a picture of our Professors Lake team actually doing a hands-on training with Peel paramedics. And you should have seen the Twitter, right? The Peel paramedics were tweeting out, like, I swear to God, every 15 minutes through the training, and it just spread like wildfire, which was great, because now everybody knows that you should go to Brampton, to Professors Lake to go swimming, because it's a safe environment and those people are really well trained. And we train with our fire team, and they do the same thing. So this is an example of a tweet that they sent out, and then it was retweeted by the Life Saving Society Ontario, which is excellent. Again, partnering with the gods to get out the message that we built and put out for them. The other thing that we do is we jump on the bandwagon but hard, right? So if you haven't played Pokemon Go, I highly recommend it. It's a little addictive. I know that I'm not young. My daughter tells me all the time I'm old. But we jumped right on the bandwagon. But when they were first doing it, people were like, what's Pokemon? And I'm like, okay, everyone put it on your phones so that you actually know. But this is Twitter. We have this in Twitter. We have this in Facebook. We have this in hard copy. We have big posters of it. And the kids just love it. And as soon as they see Pokemon, they're reading. They go, oh, okay, I should do something about that. And it didn't cost us anything. A graphic artist did this for us, and it just spread. Right? So jump on the bandwagon. That's quite okay. I'm waiting for the next big thing. I want Minions to come back with great force and something that I can put a little Minion in a life jacket. That'd be great. The other thing that we're not shy about is celebrating when our lifeguards and our teams do fabulous things. So the young girl standing in the front is 16 years old. She had just finished her lifeguard training in a City of Brampton pool. She's a competitive swimmer. She was swimming, practicing at Earnscliffe Recreation Center and went unconscious in the water. Mid-stroke, went unconscious, non-breathing, no vital signs, dropped. Lifeguards responded immediately. She was in cardiac arrest. They did compressions, applied the defibrillator, and saved her life. She had an undiagnosed medical condition, heart condition, ARVC, had a defibrillator implanted the next week at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, and was back in our recreation center to thank the lifeguards days after that. We took, shamelessly, we took advantage of this to celebrate the success and to make a very public spectacle of the success. We took them to council. It picked up major media coverage, so CBC Canada, Global TV Toronto, CTV Toronto, all picked this up. And it spread like wildfire. Our lifeguards are the best. You should swim at our pools. We know how to save you. Come to us. Right? Now, she can never become a lifeguard because of her cardiac condition, and it predisposes her to falling unconscious, which is not so good for your lifeguards, but she will work in our camp team now. And she's happy, our lifeguards are happy, our social media is happy, our council's happy, and our community just ate it up. And again, it didn't cost us anything to do this. But again, when you're building that community engagement in your drowning solutions, it's important to celebrate. It's important to bring in every aspect of it. And again, with our fire team. So that would be Buddy the lifeguard dog. Now, what I note also is some of our aquatics team needs a different motivation to participate, and some of our community needs a different motivation to participate. So we give them awards, right? So there's an award with Life Saving Society Ontario called the Water Smart Award, and it's given to the community that does the most. Well, you know, there are 15 people on the Brampton Aquatics team, and the Brampton Fire team is engaged as well, and Peel Paramedics, and they're gunning for this award. They want to be the best in Ontario. And if that's the motivation that gets somebody to move things forward, yippee, I'm great. That's perfect. That's perfect. And I just want to show you this video. Let's hope it works. Now, be mindful, when you see this woman's swimming ability, you'll be like, she can swim? Okay, remember, I want you to remember, she's had 3 lessons, 1 hour each, that included some skill acquisition and water safety information. She started with nothing. And hopefully it'll go up perfectly. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. And I have to throw it.
I was so scared from the water. Are you good? I'm back home in India, and then I used to swim really good. And then I had in the States, I had accidents in the flash flood. And after that, I was so scared. It took me 10 days to come back to the water. I was so nervous to be in the water. Even I can't take a shower because I was so scared. I go like this. And I did do the shower. Then now, after 10 years, I'm good. Thank you. She taught me real good. No, I'm not scared from anyone. Anyway, put me out.
So she has some funny words, and no, it's not really swimming. I get that part, like she's surfacing. But that woman has been back in our pool for lessons. From the first day she took that, she has been back every single day, learning how to do it. It's incredible what she does, right? And she stands up and speaks in her community about, you better get your butt over here. And she's pretty, I've listened to her speak, and she's like, you come, you register, I'll help you, right? So she's getting everybody in the community in. And that's amazing to me. So over 700 people now are participating. And part of the reason that they're participating is that lovely lady bullies them to come, right? And she's amazing, right? And our community's amazing. She stood in front of our city council and said, you better fund this again, right? Which is great, right? It's amazing, but it's our community participation. So she's out, our team is out, everybody's out doing this. We're not the only ones that do this. I just put up the slide here. The Ottawa Coalition is very similar to us in their drowning messaging as well. They're a more formalized organization inside of Canada that's doing this, but again, community-based. It doesn't work when somebody's up top saying, hey, go do this. It has to come from the community and whatever works inside of your community. And then I'll just click through these slides so you can stop, but these are just ideas for helping engaging. And I'm not going to read them. And if you want to get hold of me, if you wanted more information about what we're doing, please don't hesitate to email, phone, or that's my Twitter account. And again, my children told me that I screwed this up royally, right? It's supposed to be my whole name, but there's a count on the Twitter, on your email, and I didn't quite get it. So thank you very much.